So folks, we got some exciting news for Spider-Man phone updates and news about the deal between Sony and Marvel. There's a lot happening right now, so let's break it down. As you guys know, we've been hearing that Sony might be ending its Spider-Man universe. This isn't confirmed yet, but the new deal they are discussing with Marvel Studio could mean that this is true. So if you want to be more specific about the deal, there's a rumor going around about this deal. Sony and Marvel are working on something that might be great for both companies and for the fans too. In short, this new deal could allow Marvel Studio to use major Spider-Man characters and villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the past, if Sony was using a character in their name, Marvel wasn't allowed to use it in the same character in the MCU. For example, Kraven the Hunter was almost in Spider-Man No Way Home, but Sony didn't let Marvel use him because they were making their own Kraven movie. But now things might be changing. In this new deal, Marvel would be allowed to use the villains that Sony uses, but they would have to wait 30 days after the Sony movies out on a video on demand. So it's not an intense thing, but it's still a win because Marvel can eventually use the characters just with a small delay. And the other thing that's kind of keep me excited is the rumor that going around about Nolan MCU. We've been talking about it in like past few weeks since the trailer came out in the Venom The Last Dance with the Null in it. According to insider reports, we might see Venom and Null in Spider-Man 4. These two characters will appear in Venom 3 The Last Dance, which comes out in October. A few months after it's on VOD, Marvel could bring them into the MCU. Spider-Man 4 is scheduled for July 2026, so there's a plenty of time for us to see this happen. Spider-Man 4 was supposed to come out in 2025, but now it's moved to July 2026. It's only delayed by a month, which isn't a big deal, but if you count the original plan from Sony, the movie has been delayed by a year. Either way, we're still getting Spider-Man 4, and it looks like Marvel and Sony are finalizing the details of this deal. And the other good news is Tom Holland's Spider-Man is getting 2 more MCU movies, and his role is going to be bigger than ever. After Avengers Secret Wars, we might finally get the Spider-Man stories we've been waiting for. There's still a lot of talk about what Marvel can do with all the villains from Spider-Man universe, but thing is, they are looking really positive. And about the fact that how Marvel will use the characters, will Marvel have to use the same version of the villains from Sony's Spider-Man universe, or can they make their own versions? For example, if Marvel wants to use a Kraven Spider-Man movie, do they have to use a Kraven from Sony's movie, or they can just create their own? That's something we don't know yet, but either way, this new deal gives Marvel a lot of more freedom, a lot more storylines to, just they go with it. Another rumor that's kind of kept me kind of wondering about this whole Sonyverse stuff. There is also a rumor that Sony might stop making its Spider-Man universe movies altogether. It seems like Sony has realized people care more about these characters because they are connected to Spider-Man. Movies like Morbius, Madame Web haven't done as well as they hoped. So maybe Sony will let Marvel use these characters from now on. This could mean more money for both studios since Marvel movies tend to make more at the box office. I've been talking about this in the last video, like exactly yesterday video. I said that this is going to be a big deal for Marvel. Like this will be a game changer. The fact that Sonyverse is going to be part of this multiverse and MCU related stuff is going to be something huge. Having a Venom in MCU is just a whole different thing, just whole different storylines. Having a Kraven, having a Sinister Six in MCU is just a whole level of, want them to be stick around. Even after the Secret Wars, they can be reboot, like they just reboot the actors and just come back with a new version of him. That's just a hell of a movies we can get, which we weren't able to get since the moment we were no Spider-Man. It was in the Sonyverse, and they had like their solo film and never get into the MCU that much. But from now on, this is gonna happen, and this is perfect. I really like it. I hope like this is going to be a really solid deal between Sony and Marvel, never change anything else. But in the end, that's what we know so far. It looks like Spider-Man 4 is on the track for 2026, and the deal between Sony and Marvel could be huge for the future of Spider-Man in the MCU. We are super excited to see what happens next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and if you know anything that I didn't mention in this video, just comment below. See you next time.
What is that?
1300 AD, they called this man the hero from the sky. He was prophesied to have destroyed the evil